Hello, good morning, and welcome to your Mapathon. My name is Jessica, and I work with the Humanitarian Open Street Map team. My organization, alongside Doctors Without Borders and the Red Cross, created missing maps to utilize our collective power to map vulnerable communities around the world. We're so excited that you're joining us in this project today. Let's get started with some background before we dive into your task for the day. If you have not already, let's get started with setting up an OpenStreetMap account. Go to www.openstreetmap.org to link or register for a new account. You'll receive an email to confirm your registration. Once you've confirmed, you'll find a number of resources on the site to help you navigate how to map, but we'll come back to that a little bit later. In many parts of the world, adequate maps are not available for communities or organizations to provide resources or support to some of the world's most vulnerable populations. To remedy this, a cohort of organizations have created the Missing Maps Project, allowing volunteers like yourselves the ability to trace maps using a tool called OpenStreetMaps. Collaborators from around the globe, including expert mappers and community members, are then able to validate those maps and fill in any holes. Humanitarian organizations can then use those maps to provide aid and support. The information you map is used to address critical, real-world issues such as natural disasters, disease outbreak, or access to vital community resources. The general assumption is that something as simple as a map is readily available in most parts of the world. But in reality, in the areas of the world in which we work, this is what a typical map would look like. About 80,000 people live in this area, and this map does not do an adequate job of representing that or the general infrastructure of the area. Tools that some may take for granted, such as Google Maps, don't provide the necessary information either. However, check out the example on the right below. Resources, roads, and infrastructure for this thriving trading center with a population of 120,000 was mapped in just one evening by 70 volunteers like yourselves. This provides vital information to organizations operating in the region. Your task is going to focus on an area on the border of Uganda. This area is currently experiencing one of the greatest refugee crises in the world. Due to violence in the Democratic Republic of the Congo in South Sudan, people have been fleeing to Uganda, seeking refuge in tents and camps just across the border. Today we are going to focus on mapping roads and paths in border communities. In doing this, experts and community members on the ground will be able to use this data to create an accurate picture of how communities and structures are connected, improving transport and connectivity throughout the region. You can find additional information on the refugee crisis in Uganda by visiting our website at hotosm.org, through the UN Refugee Agency at unhcr.org, or by visiting the webpage of Doctors Without Borders. In order to build up your mapping skills, we're going to start with a quick tutorial in OpenStreetMap. Log into your account and click on Edit in the upper left-hand corner. Select Edit with ID in Browser Editor. In the lower right-hand corner, click on the Help icon. There's a number of resources here to help you through your mapping journey, but we're going to start with the walkthrough. Once you have selected Start the Walkthrough, you will see a screen like this. Follow the prompts to learn the ins and outs of tracing points, lines, and areas in OpenStreetMap. A few key things to remember before we get started today. Whenever possible, make sure all your roads are connected to preserve the network throughout the area. Be sure to stay within your box so that you don't overlap work with someone else. Try not to map paths that appear to connect other houses or fields. Community partners on the ground are mapping those connections. Do map roads that appear to connect your square with other squares. Zoom out to provide a larger perspective of the area. And finally, remember to tag what you map using the outline below. Now that you have the background and tools to use OpenStreetMap, you are ready to go. Have fun and thank you for your time and contribution to Missing Maps.